Blake. Fred Barnes joins us now, Weekly Standard's executive editor, Fox News contributor, and Danielle McLaughlin is also here, liberal commentator, to talk a little bit more about what Blake was just reporting on, the big dinner tonight. Fred, give us your take on the last couple of days and where we are with this drama, for lack of a better term, about the next Secretary of State. How do you think it ends up?
Well, I think it ends up tonight at the meeting between Donald Trump and Mitt Romney. And my guess is, because there's one person who'd like to see Romney be Secretary of State, and that's Donald Trump, that Trump will get his way. But there has certainly been a lot of friction, a lot of leaks. We know what Kellyanne Conway has said in public about Romney, that he shouldn't be the one who's picked. But you know, I don't think there's a real rival now. So it's look, it's either Trump or, I mean, it's either Romney or we'll go back to this ordeal.
Right, and then you had Bob Corker there today. It's tough to tell what is going on with Giuliani and I guess Petraeus from yesterday. But Danielle, what have you made of the way it's been handled? Because, you know, to Fred's point, you have staffers coming out and speaking out against the president-elect, or do you? I mean, there is a school of thought that says that, you know, the president-elect knows exactly what's going on, and then maybe there's something else to what Kellyanne Conway is trying to do. What do you think of it all?
Well, I think it is highly unusual that Kellyanne Conway was speaking out so vehemently against one of the frontrunners for Secretary of State. I think it's also interesting that we have such a wide variety of candidates. Giuliani, obviously, who was the mayor of New York City during a very difficult time in its history. You've got John Bolton, who is an absolute sovereigntist and very much an interventionist. You think about his policies on the Iraq War and also his policies on Iran and wanting to intervene there to stop them getting nuclear weapons. Romney, less foreign policy experience, more of a statesman, and this might be the opportunity for Donald Trump to show that he can extend an olive branch to folks who spoke out against him and fill out his cabinet that way.
Well, you know, Danielle brings up an interesting point, Fred, and that is that I wonder if being against the Iraq War, so much was made during the campaign with Donald Trump trying to convince everybody that he really was against it. People said, no, you said you were for it. And he said, no, I was against it. I was right about that would be some sort of a litmus test for a potential Secretary of State. Doesn't look like it is, though.
No, it doesn't look like it is for any foreign policy or Defense Department job either. Look, Trump, you know, in the beginning, he was sort of in favor of the war, but got over that quickly and then was against it. But look, that's not something that is he's going to decide a nominee on. Look, I think if he's not going to tell Romney he wants him as Secretary of State tonight, then this has all been a useless drama, and there's only one person to blame for that, and that's Donald Trump.
Well, we'll watch it, or fly on the wall type of thing, or we'll see what comes out of it. Fred and Danielle, thank you. One of the names that Danielle brought up is actually coming up later this hour. We'll speak with Ambassador John Bolton.
All right, our panel is back, but Fred, I mean, she continues to raise money. She said her new goal is $7 million. Last time I checked, a recount's about $1 million. So it's kind of casting a little bit, just from a math perspective, on what she's really after here.
Well, look, she had a miserable campaign. What did she get, 1%, 2%? She was, you know, completely bulldozed by even Gary Johnson, much less Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. So she's tried to do a little grandstanding here. And look, this is perfectly legitimate, seeking a recount. Nothing wrong with that, even though when you look at these races, I mean, these results, you see that no election has ever been overturned where the margins of victory were as high as they are in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, Danielle, I think what always gets me more about this is, sure, if you want to recount and it's, you know, legal under the laws of that state, that's fine. But it's the hypocritical way that so many are going about this. I mean, when you look back at the election, when Hillary Clinton stood out there and she said, it's horrifying that Donald Trump said that he may not accept the results of the election. And now, you know, people are standing up and applauding Jill Stein. And just once again, it just feels hypocritical. What do you think?
I agree there are elements of it seems hypocritical in many ways. I want to make clear, though, that Hillary Clinton's campaign is an observer, sending legal representatives to watch over what is happening here, and this wasn't something that was started by the Clinton campaign at all. They did their own homework and decided that it wasn't worth challenging. And to Fred's point, he's absolutely right. There were about 100,000 votes margin in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, and we've never seen in the history of this country an election overturned with that many votes. So why is she doing it? You know, one of the pillars of the Green campaign, the Green Party, is democracy, the notion of one person and one vote. So if she's going out there to see if there's widespread fraud or possibly the involvement of a foreign power, I can understand how that fits with basically the pillars of the Green Party.
Yeah, Fred, you know, I believe that Hillary Clinton is just a bystander and observer in this, the same way that I believe that she was completely horrified by the idea and that she thought Donald Trump was the first one to ever, you know, go and say that he might question the results. Jill Stein has received 12 times more media coverage than she did in the whole entire campaign. It's about that and nothing else.
Well, that is what it's about, and it's working for Jill Stein. Look, I mean, look, for heaven's sakes, let her do it. I mean, she's not breaking any law. She's just doing something that people do all the time. Not quite with these results that she's asking for a recount in, but, you know, look, she spent a long time running for president, got nowhere, and here's a little bit of a finishing kick that I don't begrudge it
I don't begrudge her that. I begrudge how disingenuous everyone is, and I think that everyone in the audience knows that, and that's what Trump tapped into. He would say the obvious thing that everyone was thinking, that everyone would recoil in horror, and then it turned out, you know, it was it may have been ugly, but it was true. I don't know. It's just an interesting cycle. We got to go. Thanks to you both. Really appreciate it. For more of Kennedy's interview